Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of our Dungeons and Dragons stream. We've kind of had a big change this week in that we've settled on some branding. Any self-respecting D&D stream should have a catchy name and a witty tagline. So the eagle-eyed among you probably have already seen that we're now going by hardcore roleplay, not safe for wizards. Apologies for any really confused viewers, but we hope you stay and watch for a little while. So, last week, our friends were thrust out of their comfortable lodging after Acheron inspected a stone that contained their friend Bones. A ball of dark energy consumed Acheron and the walls of the underwater laboratory, forcing the group to swim for their lives. Upon reaching the shoreline, they met Valvoth, an elf that has been searching for answers around his village being destroyed. Moments after meeting Valvoth, Aiden, Biddy, and Shade collapsed, having a shared vision of a disembodied voice chastising them for failing. But after returning to their original job, they travelled north, and while making a transaction, they were accused of being a terrorist group known as the Quindolin. They were taken before Lord Aomir, who explained the Quindolin had been attacking randomly throughout the land, and described your cool terrorist names, and he was shocked by the tattoo on Biddy's arm, then called for a box that contained an arm in preservative that had a similar tattoo to the one on Biddy's arm. So you're all standing in a hallway, the same hallway currently, and he goes, "Where did you get them from?"
My arm?
The tattoo, yes.
Oh. I woke up with it.
When?
Well, time seems to have gone a bit strange, so I'm not sure. How long has it been?
When do you remember waking up? Or when do you remember? What is your last memory before the tattoo?
I was sitting in a tavern, I think. And then we woke up in a swamp.
Really?
That's all. Although you can't really trust my memory.
So what are we going to do? Are you going to explain to me how they work? Or what it's even about? Because from where I'm standing, your group is responsible for my daughter's death.
Oh. Well, as far as we've worked out, after waking up in a swamp with some tattoos, if we go too far from each other, then we get very tired, very unwell. That's all we know. Really. After that point, we just wandered around and ended up here. Who's your daughter? I don't know your daughter.
And he kind of, you see him just kind of, he's pretty stoic to begin with, but like now it's kind of really set in. And she was the most beautiful girl that anyone would have laid eyes on. About 3 years ago, she went missing. There was reports that she was seen over at Kistronda, but they seemed to be a sick joke, practical joke. But then the last report we had was she was in the mountains north of Vela and we went to find her. We rode because Vela's not too far. We can ride there in a couple of days. And this was found in the bay. It's the only thing we have left. She didn't have a tattoo when she went missing. But this is definitely
And
her.
you say she just disappeared.
Yes.
Do you mean she wandered off, or she disappeared?
I assumed she wandered off, but if you're implying that she magically disappeared...
I mean, I'm just saying that's what happened to me. As I said, I don't know your daughter.
Make a...
Have I?
Oh, yep.
Sorry.
No, please.
No, you go.
You go. No, you go. Cause...
Oh, I was gonna say, have I seen the mark on the arm, on the daughter's arm? Like, have I been able to read it?
Do you speak to... Well, it's exactly the same as the one on Biddy's arm.
Oh, like because it would be the same number. I would
Yeah.
recognize it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the same number.
Yeah.
Shit.
Interesting.
So if she's gone, why do you have her arm?
That is a great question.
A body shouldn't be buried in pieces. It should be buried whole. She won't be able to... Her soul won't be able to progress into the afterlife until we lay her to rest in our crypts. But you can't use one or two pieces. It needs to be all together.
How do you know that she's dead?
I assumed she would be if her arm's completely missing.
I did know a man once who lived without an arm. It's happened.
You see him kind of like... There's like this spark of hope in his eyes for a second, and then he's...
How
One can only
dangerous was
hope.
this man, Biddy?
He was the best archer that ever lived.
A one-armed
You wouldn't
archer.
believe it.
Wow.
Used his feet.
One-armed archer. Sounds like he was pretty armless. Thank you. I'm here all week.
No. No.
I'm waiting for someone to take it.
Yeah.
I like set it up
No.
and someone take it.
I saw what you were doing with that.
Aomir looks at all of you. I've been searching for answers for 3 years as to why she's missing.
Was she with anyone when she went missing? Did she have any friends, anyone else in the town that went missing at the same time?
No, not particularly, but the reports did say that she was traveling with a group. When we found her arm, it was off a report that she and a group of 5 others had made their way into the middle of the bay, which for all of you, because you've been in Gilnoy for a long time, if we quickly jump back to the main map, Vela's off to the right, and you would all know that there is perpetual vortex of water in the middle of the bay that basically sucks any kind of ship that flows into the bay and doesn't quite know how to navigate the water. The people who live in Vela do know how to navigate the water very well. They're a seafaring group, and basically anyone who ventures out there gets sucked down into the vortex if they're not careful.
Do we know if anybody's ever survived?
Not off the top of your heads. There's now let me just quickly get just getting some info, sorry. They're the people who like the people who settle there are kind of like this Viking-esque settlement. Their traditions are to kind of worship that vortex, and the only person rumored to have come back from that is one of their people, the Velian people named Brynjar.
Have there ever been rumors of like shipwreckage appearing where it shouldn't be
Roll a history check.
and ships? Okay.
Good question.
18.
18. There is one legend around a ship known as the Salt Wench disappearing into a fog over near Dendaris and coming back 20 years later with the same crew, but like unaged. But that's kind of the only what would you call it? The only or legend or myth.
I'm just thinking about the whirlpool we found in the misty, mysterious place that was like, we went in and didn't we pop out? Did someone pop out somewhere else?
In the vision we had, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bones like fell into the water and then popped up back at the original place.
It's all connected.
Can I say to Aomir, I'll take a step forward and kind of show my forearms showing no tattoo. I've only just joined this group, so I can't attest for their honor. But my village was recently burned down, and it's clear that there are a lot of strange things happening around these lands, and it all seems to be connected. Obviously, you're not going to find any answers sitting around this village. Let us go out and find these answers for you. It's clear that this old lady here hasn't gone on murder sprees, and that these people are not who you accuse them to be.
Make a persuasion check.
Is anybody helping me?
I'm gonna say.
Well, I'm gonna need it because that's a nat 1.
All right.
I'm getting chucked in prison, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I don't know that guy.
Yeah, same. I don't know this guy.
Give me 1 sec. I'll give you advantage purely because you suggested it. Like the what do you call it? Like you suggested.
That's
Get
a
it.
10.
10. I need time to think about things. All of you will spend the night in the cell. Surrender your items.
I'm gonna roll up my sleeves as well. I don't have markings either, and I'm gonna pull out my necklace I'm with the Sanctuary, so I don't think I should sleep in a cell.
Well, I don't think a traveling companion of these three, and he kind of points to Shade, Biddy, and Aiden, should be allowed to walk free throughout town.
I'll step forward at this point. We've only just met him. He has nothing to do with this. Look, if you want to take us in for the night, that's fine. I'll happily go. But he had nothing to do with this. I think you should presume his innocence and not just assume him guilty.
Alright, you can make a persuasion roll.
Sure. I'll do it through Fiona.
Natural 20.
26.
That's a natural 20 too, when it's green like that. So he kind of looks at you. You mustn't leave Hillsguard. He turns to Felix and Valvoth. They mustn't leave. The three of you will stay in the cell until morning. Then we can discuss matters further. Agreed?
Agreed.
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 Cool. So as you say that, about 4 or 5 armed guards kind of approach you quite suddenly and start taking things from you. You get to the point where it's just the clothes on your back, and one of them turns to you, Shade, and goes to take your ring.
I don't think so, mate.
He looks up at Aomir. Aomir just nods his head, and the guard backs off. So technically, at the moment, you guys are all relieved of everything but your clothes, just your basic clothes.
So when they come to take my sword, I will request if I can hand that over to Felix.
I'll
just sort of
look
say,
after it.
please, I won't have it. I certainly can't use it. It's just got sentimental value. Feel free to check it over if you need to. It's of no danger to anybody.
Aomir is still sitting there, very, very silent, and he kind of turns around to a guard that's kind of posted near him, whispers something in his ear, and the guard disappears for a few moments. After about 2-3 minutes, a hooded figure returns, followed by the guards, and he walks up to your sword. You don't see underneath the hood, but all you can see is kind of like this graying beard, old teeth that are kind of, some are black, some are like crooked, and he grabs the sword and then lets it go, and then gives a kind of wave to Aomir and walks away, and they hand the sword to Felix.
I'll just turn to Aiden. I'll keep it safe, I promise.
Thank you. I guess I'll see you in the morning then.
Have a good sleep.
I'll try to.
So Aomir kind of stands up and walks off. The three, Shade, Biddy, and Aiden, are led to a dungeon which basically is 3 cells. You're able to be crammed into one with basically benches all the way around the edge, and there's like cushions underneath it, like little straw mattresses that you can pull out and put on top. It's actually down a flight of stairs, so could, theorize that you're underground at the moment. There's no windows. The ground is like hard, compacted earth, so it's almost like this place was just dug out rather than constructed. As you're kind of let in, to the right, on closest to the door, there is a cell. You can see a body kind of in the corner with loud snoring coming from it, and you're led to the middle chamber, and there's a loud as the gate is the door to your cell is closed behind you and locked. Standing in the hallway where the cells are 4 guards all holding pikes. Is there anything you'd like to do?
Are we all in separate cells, or we're just in the one cell together?
You're all in one cell together.
And was that alone, or was that guy who was snoring, was he in the same cell?
He's in the cell next to you, closest to the door.
Can I see into the cell next to us?
Yeah.
Is it just a human man?
Yeah. It's from what you can see at the back of him, he looks human, and he's kind of like curled up in the corner. But yeah.
I'm gonna call over to him and see if I can wake him up.
Yeah, what do you want to say?
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm Bitty. What's your name?
Bitty.
That's a lovely name. I
No,
love that name.
Sorry, I'm just
No?
getting used to the fact that there's a gnome named Bitty in the
That-
cell next to me.
Me. Hi.
Oh. I'm Magnus.
Hello, Magnus. I feel like you're not supposed to ask this, but what do you do?
Oh. Drunk and disorderly, apparently.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Can't remember it. I've seen you before. Where have I seen you before?
Me?
Yeah,
No,
I don't know too many gnomes.
neither do I. Some man said I was just going around and murdering horses and things, but that doesn't sound like me.
And you see this
Don't
look
know what
of
they're talking about.
like fear wash over his face. You're the creeping death.
Well, no, I just look like her.
Right. What do you,
Right.
and you're in a jail cell because you look like the creeping death?
Yes. Apparently that's illegal. I didn't know that. Laws confuse me.
Very. Well, yeah, laws can get you in a bit of trouble.
Well, yes, apparently. That's how we find ourselves here.
Well, if you don't mind, I'm trying to get some sleep.
Oh. I mean, that's fine, I guess.
Before you do that, do you mind telling us where you saw my friend here, or where you think you saw her?
On the map, on the bounties.
Do you know anything else about what we've supposedly been doing?
Well, apparently you're not.
Apparently we're all the talk in town.
Well, according to the stories from a few barmaids going through town to town, killing everyone, eating children, sacrificing virgins. But I didn't believe it. Especially don't believe that you're the creeping death.
Well, I did try and tell them that if I was some fugitive, they probably would have caught me by now, but they didn't. Here we are. Me. Killing horses, eating children, sacrificing virgins. Those days are well past me.
Yeah, not kidding. Listen. Just between you and me. And he kind of gets up and walks over to the bar and he stinks too. Like he's like obviously thrown up on himself. He's not in a good way. And he kind of leans against the bars that are joining your cells and look over on the third stone in from the corner. When the guards change, there's about 5 minutes where there's no one down here but us. And he's kind of whispering, but I'm stage whispering. Third stone in, the last guy who was in here hid something back there.
Alright.
Alright. Well, Betty, if you don't mind, I've got a cracking hangover.
Well, if they hadn't taken all my stuff off me, I could have helped you with that, but unfortunately, you're just gonna have to sleep it off.
That's what I'm trying to do. But you woke me up.
Oh. Terribly sorry.
Good
I
night.
don't think. Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone knows the answer, I don't think I need a focus for lay on hands.
I don't think you do.
I'm not actually sure whether it would cure a hangover,
You could try.
because I'm pretty sure it can cure intoxication. I think. Yeah, I'll give it a go. Before you try and go back to sleep, there, I'll put my hand up and try and do lay on hands.
You reach through and there's this warm glow and he... Oh. I did. It does feel better. Thank you.
Otherwise,
He kind of curls up in the corner. Faces the wrong way into his cell.
Quick question. Is
Yeah.
my familiar with me?
Not currently. He's well, not with you, but he's around. He's within range.
Right. Okay.
Can I still hear Acheron's familiar?
No, not at current. He has been quiet for a while.
so what the pair of you make of this?
I haven't been in a prison cell in a very long time. It's kind of exciting.
I'm just trying to decide if it's better than the swamp we found ourselves in.
I preferred the swamp.
You know what? I think I did as well. I don't much like the idea that someone's going around pretending to be us and doing horrible things.
And I can't believe that they accused me of killing horses. Can you imagine? The
No, I
horses
can't.
would never speak to me again. I've got a reputation.
I mean, I know, right? If only they spoke to you for 5 minutes, they'd see that you're not the horse-killing Soma.
I'm not about to ruin my reputation amongst horses forever. It can't get out there that I am a horse killer. They will never speak to me again. It's ridiculous.
I fully agree. We need to get to the bottom of this. Top priority.
As
Right.
you guys are speaking, the guards start to make their way out of the room for a change of guard. With that though, I will just cut to Valvoth and Felix, what are you guys doing as you're kind of led out of the hall into the hills of the town of Hillsguard?
I just want to ask one of the guards as we're let out, where can we get a good owlbear steak and some drinks around here?
Ain't no owlbears around here, mate. But you can get a good feed in the inn.
Where is that?
It's called the Grass Plains. It's just to the north. And he just turn right at the end of this, and he kind of points towards, right, then your second right, and then all the way to the top. You'll find it. It's on a hill.
Fancy a drink, Felix?
Oh, I suppose. Beats being in a jail. I feel kind of sorry for them. I mean, they don't seem like bad people.
The truth will come out if they aren't.
Do you think we should, like, get them out somehow?
I'm always up for a nefarious plot. What do you have in mind?
Oh, no law breaking. Just like if we petition, we could potentially get the get them released on goodwill or something.
We can try. Or we could... It's only until morning where I'm sure the good lord here will come to his senses and see that little Biddy there is not capable of killing and eating horses and virgins. Seems quite absurd, really.
I love that none of you are defending any of the others.
I can't honestly remember what the others were accused of.
Well, she's old, like really old, and who's to say that she hasn't done something like that at one point in her life? It could be true.
But said
you're right.
It was said that it was recently in one of the attacks that she ate the horse as a snake.
How would she even be a snake?
That's why I think these claims are absurd. All I know is that we have to get to the bottom of it. It's somehow linked with what happened at my village.
As you guys are kind of walking through the streets, it's getting to about like 8 o'clock to 9. There's kids still running through the streets, kind of playing. Families are kind of pulling stuff inside from these houses. This place is kind of like it's a very hilly area. There's lots of hills around. Hillsguard kind of gives that away, but the houses are all built up against the hills mostly, and some of them are even built into it, and these seem to be kind of domiciles that push into the hills themselves.
Like a hobbit hole?
Kinda, but more like
Okay.
not a circle. Like it'd just be like a normal house that's kind of pushed up against the wall. A few guards and things riding horses. There's like a few people riding horses around that kind of trot their way through. And before long, you guys reach a hill with a stair and the sign out the front saying the Grass Plains.
Well, I assume this is probably the place that guard helped find.
Kind of lightly slap you on the back as I stride on in. I'll get the first round. You find us a table.
Cool. Are there free tables?
Yes, actually, Valvoth, you've been here before. Probably should have mentioned that.
Oh, have I? Okay.
Yeah, because you've been hanging out here for the past.
Oh no, true. I have too.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
forgotten. But you've been in. This is like you've stayed here. Basically stepping in. There's a good chunk of people all sat in like a U formation, kind of like an AA meeting almost. Not that I've ever been, but like in the like when you see it in movies, there's like support groups that are sitting in circles and stuff. It's almost like that, and they're kind of all facing a fire with one man standing there, giving a speech along the lines of, "Look, scouting parties are going missing, left and right. And we haven't, and Aomir has done nothing about it. I say he's become incompetent, and he's leading us to ruin. Stennisgrad has never before had their boot this hard on our neck. I think it's time we elected someone with a stronger neck that can fight back." And a few of the men are, yeah, there's even a woman in there who's kind of sitting there quietly.
Would this be considered like, I guess, a mutiny, but like treasonous in a way?
Make a history check. Because you would... I think we covered this last session, but...
It's a 1.
A 1. You did last session know that this is a democratic state. You're not quite sure if this would be considered like taboo to be meeting like this, but a few of them see you walk in and kind of just not stop talking, but a couple of them start to keep their eye on you as you walk in. There is someone behind the bar kind of looking over it, and Valvoth, you recognize this as Ellis, the what's the bartender? Yeah, the innkeeper. Just brain farted. And he kind of gives you a look of recognition and goes, "Valvoth, it's nice to see you again."
2 owlbear steaks and 4 pints of ale, if you will.
Keep asking about that owlbear, but it's not. I can't fucking summon him. I'll do my best to.
You gave me fucking owlbear last time. I want it again.
Mate, that was just a horse that we had to kill.
Oh, so you've been killing before.
Oh shit, my cousin's born.
You hear this shriek from the jail across town.
That was just a horse that had to be put down. If you want that again, I'll give it to you, because you just wouldn't shut up about the owlbear, so to give you something.
It's fucking owlbear and I want it.
Okay.
Give me 2 of them and 4 pints of ale, if you will, please.
I would say that you hear him go out back and just hear a but he doesn't have a gun on him. He gives you the ale and says, "Alright," and he's grumbling as he moves to the back of room and starts... You hear from the kitchen just like this, someone going, I know that's what he wants. He just... For the 3 of you in jail, you have about 5 minutes of time before the guards, according to this man who's been in jail next to you.
I'm going to very casually walk over to the bars and cast Mage Hand to kind of play around with that brick that he mentioned and see if I can move it.
Cool. Just make a quick investigation check with advantage, because he did tell you it was 3 stones in.
Got an 11 and an 8.
Cool. It wasn't huge DC, so you're able to find this one stone that's 3 in, where the mortar has kind of been carved out, and you slide it out, and inside is a pair of metal, like just little bits of metal that could be used as a makeshift lockpick.
I'm gonna grab them and bring them over and toss them to Aiden.
And what are you imagining we're going to do with these?
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I don't plan on staying in here for very long.
Nor do I.
We might need them.
I didn't.
Let's wait and see.
Before, like,
Sure.
you don't even hear movement, but you just hear a voice pass them here, and the man who's in the cell next to you, Magnus. Brain is not working today. He's got his arms all the way through, like reaching for it. But he seems a lot more sober now.
Have I still got my mage hand out?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna slap him. No. Right across the face.
He takes it. He seems to have been slapped before, and he puts his arms down. Quick, pass him here. We don't have much time. I can get us out.
I don't think that's going to be happening.
I'm just gonna go and sit down in the corner and pull my hood up and just say, let's just wait and see. Kind of just sit there like quietly, all brooding like.
We're only supposed to be in here overnight. Why do you think we'd want to escape?
I was meant to be in here overnight 3 weeks ago. Aomi is not the forgiving type.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about.
Look, we've only got about 2 more minutes. The guards have to travel halfway across the complex.
I will just... Alright, so I'll just go over to Shade. I will give him the lockpicks, or the things that can be used as lockpicks, and I will say, if you want my opinion on this, if we are caught with these on us, it's going to be much worse. Now, if he's right, and they don't come and get us after tomorrow, maybe we can do something. If those guards lift that stone and these aren't there, what do you think they're going to jump? What conclusion do you think they're going to come to?
Aiden, how trustworthy do you think they are? Do you think he's gonna keep his word that this is just an overnight?
Well, I was preaching before about the presumption of innocence and giving people the benefit of the doubt. Now, if I do the opposite of that, then that's just going to make things worse. So I am going to believe that he will stay true to his word until he does otherwise.
Let's just give them to Magnus. He'll serve as a good distraction.
This is going to make things worse.
Look, if you want to stay here, that's fine. Give me the lockpicks and I'll go. You can say that I had them on me.
Are there two?
It's basically
say there were
it's
two?
2 bits of metal, but like in conjunction can be used as a lockpick. Please.
I'm happy to give it a night, but if it doesn't happen, we can take him with us. You can wait one more night.
Just don't leave me here. I've got a kid to look after. He's waiting for me at home.
Do I
Probably.
believe him?
Oh yeah, insight check.
Yeah. You can roll insight checks if you like.
Not me
Yes.
No, not from the other side of the
though.
I got another 18.
16.
7.
Biddy's so trustworthy.
with a natural 2 on his deception.
Trusting.
He is lying through his teeth. He doesn't have a kid. He doesn't even like kids.
What about horses, though?
Oh, fucking hates horses too.
What?
Purely
I
out
mean,
of
I was
spite.
gonna say I'll take you with him.
No,
He was the one that ate the horses.
Oh my god.
he's,
Come full circle.
you've all kind of been around liars before, and he's just giving off this vibe of, I'm full of shit. I'm just saying what you want to hear, so you give me the thing, and so I can get out of here.
Okay, well, we keep the lockpick because he will probably just screw us over entirely. But I still vote we take him with us if we leave.
And he kind of sits back down and he goes, You're gonna see. They're gonna leave you in here. Just like me.
Do I see any keys around?
Make a perception check.
Four.
No, it is actually quite dark down here. So it's a bit hard to see anything, let alone keys that. The guard that did put you in did put keys back into like his belt. So you kind of ascertain that it probably is on them. Whilst you're looking, you also hear like the telltale signs of people approaching, and lo and behold, 4 guards with pikes all make their way down, and one of them turns to Magnus and, "You sobered up yet?" And he kind of looks back, and then like there's almost like this with your perception rolls. There's almost like this fear or just like annoyance with this guard on Magnus's behalf. He kind of looks at all of you and then crawls back into his corner and tries to go back to sleep. Felix and Valvoth, you are served 2 juicy owlbear steaks with a siding of various vegetables and a creamy sauce that goes to the sides. It's delicious. It's the best.
I jump straight into it and say to Felix, "Oh, best Albert steaks I've ever had."
How many owlbear steaks have you eaten in your life?
That's all I eat.
Felix, with your background, you've eaten pretty well. Like, this is one of the toughest steaks you've ever had. It's gamey. It's all like, it's edible, but fuck, it's not good steak.
Meanwhile, I'm just biting into it like it's the best thing I've ever
Yeah,
eaten.
you're loving it.
I'll just like nibble off the bits that look like they've got fat on them, and just...
What did this feast cost me?
Shit, free apparently.
For oh, awesome.
I was struggling to give it away.
Yeah, and I'll down my 2 ales that I've got.
And-
Ravenous, apparently.
Ellis kind of comes back and, so will you be needing a room tonight as well?
Yes, my dear friend, and 2 more pints of ale when you have some time.
Yes, well, you still have to pay for the last 2, but you can pay for that when you settle it in the morning. Your old room's still available. Will you? And he kind of like flicks between Felix. Will you be needing another bed?
I've got my own. I can sleep on the ground.
I'm sure you could.
Yeah, I can. I could. Absolutely.
Well, okay. Alright, we'll settle your debts in the morning. And
Don't forget the ale, Ellis.
he heads off. As he does, the group kind of disbands. A few people leaving, some staying to like talk to the man who was speaking.
once they sort of clear out enough, I want to try and, well, I'm going to approach the guy that was talking.
Yep. There's probably about like 3 people, like him and 2 others, kind of talking to each other. Nothing crazy, like not yelling or anything like that. Just kind of discussing. It's up to you.
Cool. Well, I'll pick up my 1 half finished mug, and I'll just push the other one that I haven't touched yet to valve off, and then get up and just make my way over and do that awkward standoff at a distance, but close enough that they know that he knows that I kind of want his attention. But
Yeah, like that polite, like just wait. And it takes a second, and you can overhear the conversation. It's lots of people, like it's basically just the 2 people standing there reassuring this man, like they're saying, look, you'll do fine. You've got plenty of support with the most of the populace, and Aomir's really been lacking since, you know, his daughter's been missing, so...
While this is happening,
Yeah?
I want to get up and stumble my way over to Felix. 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 Felix.
What?
Are you gonna finish your steak?
No, it's all yours. You can.
Good man, and I slap you on the back again and wander back over to the table and dig back into the tray.
Just like do the awkward flinch that's like people do when they don't like being touched.
Yeah.
The 2 people talking to the man finish up and walk away, and hi, Hans, and he kind of holds out his hands in the over the top handshake maneuver.
Cool. I'll like square my shoulders like a soldier and stick my hand the correct way. Felix.
He grabs your hand and turns it over, so his hand's on top. He's a very dominant person. Like he quite a handsome man. He's got a very trim beard that's kind of like this blonde brown. His hair's kind of in a small ponytail. It's been braided. Piercing blue eyes, and his hair's like that sandy blonde. Quite not like Chris Hemsworth level like muscle, but like definitely like toned. But yeah, it seems to be dressed nicely as well.
As he does that, I'm not going to fight it, but I'm going to use thaumaturgy and flare my eyes and pulsate them like a bright white light, and just smile and go, it's usually polite to shake correctly, but I won't go to correct the hand.
And he's shocked for a second. You didn't just curse me, did you?
No, of course not. I'm a soldier. Soldiers demand respect. We respect one another.
You'll have to forgive me. I'm not usually around magic users.
Magic? What do you mean? And I'll like show my crossbow on my now my brain's farting belt.
Yeah.
Just hanging off my belt. And Aiden's sword on the other side.
He kind of looks shocked at you, and then like inquisitive, and just fair enough. It must have just been a trick of the light. How can I help you, Felix?
I couldn't help but overhear your conversation a little bit earlier. I wasn't eavesdropping, purely unintentional. I just have a question. See,
Yes.
Aomir has a couple of my acquaintances and is holding them for the night for questioning, I assume. You seem like a man who knows what's going on. Do you think? Oh, and he said he would release them in the morning. What do you think the chances of that happening are?
He's been a absent king or absent ruler for the past 3 years since his daughter's been missing. It's a terrible thing. I don't think that anyone should lose their child, but it's ruined him as a ruler. It's ruined him as a man, and he's become this tyrant when it comes to arresting people. He's even executed people for seemingly smallish crimes. But
is he obeying the law? Are these actual crimes that people have committed, and does the punishment suit?
yes, I mean, in a way, it's definitely the what's the word I'm looking for? Harsher end of the law. But yeah.
Thank you for your time. That's all I think I need.
Are your friends okay?
I guess I'll find out tomorrow.
Okay. Well, listen, if you don't think they've done what they've done, I can make a petition to have them released. It might give me more ammunition as to who they are, like, as to overthrowing him or coming up against him in our vote of no confidence.
I will ponder what you've said, and I will find you tomorrow if he doesn't release them.
Well, let me know if anything changes, please.
Thank you again, and I'll hold my hand up, like, vertically to shake it.
He responds in kind. He's not too much of a dick.
Cool. I'll just shake it politely and then head back to Valve. And Valve? What do you like to be called?
How many drinks have I had by now?
Probably on your third.
Would I be intoxicated?
You're getting there. You're tipsy. You're buzzed. You're friendly.
Friendly, okay. Valve's fine. You shared your owlbear with me. Call me what you want.
Val it is.
What did this guy want?
Not much. I was just questioning him about whether our new acquaintances would be released potentially tomorrow, and whether... Yeah, I'm just concerned that if what we overheard and Amy isn't as sound of mind as a normal person would be, then we may have to break a law to get them out. And I don't really want to do that.
Well, do you think your new friend can help us if it comes to that?
He said he should. He said he could, potentially. But I guess we'll see.
Well, how about we go there first thing in the morning, scope it out, and if Aemir is refusing to release him, we'll find your friend and see what help he can be.
That'll work.
But for now, drink, Felix. Drink.
I clink and take not a big swig.
Meanwhile, I empty the rest of my third cup.
Yeah, and you guys spend the rest of the night kind of drinking together. Val, you get pretty drunk.
Cool.
Felix, depending on how much you drink, you can either get really drunk or not drunk at all.
Oh, it'd only be 2, maybe maximum, and very slowly over the course of the night.
Do you guys want to do anything in the jail cell?
I will just mention to the other two. So I've been thinking. I think that Emir's missing daughter is probably our best bet to get out of here.
I wonder if the crew that she was traveling with was also accused of wreaking havoc and eating horses.
It's possible. Something we could ask him about, maybe.
He did mention rumors about her that he kind of alluded to not sounding like her.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
How far away are the guards?
Basically, like the bars of the thing right there. It's probably about 10 feet between you and the wall, the bars of the wall, and they're standing against the other wall, kind of spaced out evenly.
Okay.
How many guards?
4.
2? 4.
One of them kind of got to take a piss, walks up to the bars where Magnus is sleeping, flops it out, and starts just pissing into the cell. And Magnus kind of stirs, looks over his shoulder, and the guard's like, "What? You got a problem? What are you gonna do?"
Hey.
He like aims the stream like at Magnus, trying to get him, but just isn't quite strong enough to get there.
Does piss count as water?
I think so. I think it does.
I think so.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Can I like turn around so they kind of can't see me?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna quickly look at Aiden and Biddy and just like they kind of know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wait for the nod.
I just
Should I do
smile at him knowingly.
And I'm gonna-
Aiden just covers his face with his hands. Oh.
I'm gonna cast shape water on it and freeze it. Actually, no. Sorry, no. I would like to. Hang on. Change the flow of water so it flows back at him, like. I don't know.
Yep.
So it goes all over him. Maybe at his face.
Okay, make a sleight of hand check because it's just a speech component.
Yeah.
So
A somatic. Yeah.
somatic, yeah.
Ooh,
Oh,
14.
That is just higher. That's higher than his passive perception. So I'll you get away with it, but all of a sudden he's like, what the, just like puts it away, and Magnus, you just kind of see, looks over and starts chuckling.
I'm gonna have a quiet chuckle to myself.
And the guards all laugh, and he goes, "Fucking, shut up, the lot of you."
I want to walk up to the bars and ask one of the guards how long Magnus has been in here.
They look at you. It's none of your business, prisoner.
Do you have any idea how long we're staying in here?
As long as AMS tells us you're staying here.
And you haven't received word on that?
No.
Okay.
The one who did the peeing kind of looks at Biddy and, "You don't seem that tough to me."
Well, no, that's what I've been telling everyone. I kept saying that if I was the one going around being a fugitive, wreaking havoc, that you, lovely strapping young men, would have caught me by now. But they didn't listen.
Yes, but you're sneaky. You gnomes are sneaky people.
My joints are so loud, I'm terrible at sneaking.
Yes, but you have a way. You have your ways. But I think I
Alright.
could take you.
I think you probably could.
That's right. As long as you know that. See, Magnus, this one knows its place.
Smile at him and sit down.
It's good when the lesser races know where they belong. The other guards are kind of uncomfortably looking at him and like just looking everywhere but this conversation.
I just keep smiling. Do not break the smile.
Can I see keys on any of these guards?
Make a perception check.
And
You can hear him somewhere. There's definitely a sound of keys somewhere, but not quite sure who they're coming from. It's either there's two guys. So there's the guy talking to Biddy, and then there's the guard behind him. It's one of those two people.
does any of the guards look more? Is there anything on their uniform that might make them look more senior?
Yeah.
Or-
Actually, the guy talking to Biddy.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Interesting.
He's wearing like a insignia that kind of I guess it has. You would probably know, being how your backgrounds, you kind of grew up close, or you would know that this is probably the insignia of like a captain.
Right. Okay.
Well, get some sleep. Amir says he wants to talk to you all in the morning.
Can I also dismiss temporarily my familiar so that I can call it back whenever I want?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, cool. I'm gonna do that.
You feel that telltale familiar loss of connection with your familiar on this plane. It kind of Is there anything you guys want to do before you go to sleep?
I'm all good.
Cool.
I'm happy just having a rest, yeah.
Yeah, it's not the most comfortable of rests. Valvoth and Felix, you have a really nice warm bed, and it's actually...
Are we sharing, are we?
Oh, if depends on how much you've been drinking. Yeah.
I'll just like neatly roll out my bedroll and like squarely put my gear like perfectly like symmetrical to each other. Just methodically go through everything and then lie down.
Valvoth just kind of just falls and flops on the bed.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, so the night passes pretty nicely for both of you. For those of you in the jail, it's kind of a rough sleep, but it's a sleep nonetheless. And you come to in the morning as the guards have changed over since you've been asleep, and you hear conversation coming from the top of the stairs that is the entrance to the into the dungeon. And as steps are coming down the stairway, the guards that are standing just across it kind of tighten up and look very confused as to the person coming down, and you see Aemir just kind of walk suddenly into frame, stand there, and you're coming with me. I hope you all know how to ride horses.
You're trusting me with a horse now.
I don't trust you. But I trust that I can kill you.
Okay. I'll accept it.
Guy's got a big head.
Yeah, he's armed to the teeth too. Like he's got sword on one side, like not to the teeth. Like he's got general like armaments, but they look nice. He's really well. With that, we're probably going to take a break because we're about halfway through, and we'll be right back in a bit. Welcome back after the break. We left off with Biddy, Aiden, and Shade being told they were going for a ride, and Valvoth and Felix. Felix, you wake up in your bedroll to find Valvoth just cuddling into the back of you, smelling of ale from the night before.
I'm just so I don't wake him up, like very politely, just like
Oh, how sweet.
roll out and away, and then like tuck him back in a little bit, and just start packing all my stuff up methodically,
Aw.
one at a time in my backpack.
Tuck him back in. So
Oh.
cute.
It's very sweet.
And then if he doesn't wake up, I'll like shake him awake. Val, time to wake up. I heard they have
Awake, awake.
owlbear steak for breakfast.
No time to lose. Let's go. I wake up feeling fine because I'm a wood elf. We don't get hungover.
Yeah, no, straight at like all the way, just up. You guys head downstairs, and the room's relatively empty, except for maybe 4 or 5 other people who are scattered throughout the main part of the tavern. Ellis is behind the bar. Can I get you some breakfast?
Felix said you were serving owlbear again.
Sure.
I'll pay the. Well, before I woke him, I would have gone downstairs and like settled the tab
Cool.
first, and then gone back up and woken him up.
Yeah. And he.
So whatever that's worth.
That would be a gold for the night, the food.
I can do that. Ellis, can we grab those steaks to go?
Sure. I'll put them on a skewer for you. And he walks out back and comes out with, like, it looks like meat
Looks like me.
on a skewer. Hands it across to you.
Delicious, thank you.
Noticeably, as you're kind of heading out the door, the streets are semi-empty from where you are. Usually of a morning there's a bit of commotion, or there's at least crowds At the moment, there's nothing.
What time is it roughly?
It's probably just about like 6:37.
So I would recognize that usually there's a lot of people on the street at this time.
Yeah. Make a
Okay.
quick perception check.
Oh, wrong dice. That sucks because the wrong dice was a nat 20.
Oh.
But 21. 21. Still good.
Yeah. Off in the distance, you can hear a large crowd that's gathered. You can see almost like dust rising up from over towards where the main hall of Hillsguard is.
I imagine that Felix doesn't see this, so I relay this to him
Mhm.
and suggest that we jog over and see what's going on.
Cool. As you kind of approach, you see the large crowd kind of gathered around. There's good like 20 horses, all lined up. A few of them have people like riding them as they are. A few are empty, but there's a bunch of people kind of just standing on the side of the road, just waiting to watch. And the like crowd's just kind of a hum, like they're all like real quiet, but yeah.
So who's on the horses? Or it's
Make a well. You recognize one person as Hans.
I'll try and push through the crowd, and when I'm not being polite enough, Val, can you help clear a path to get up the front?
Are people making it hard to get through?
Mm-hmm. They're kind of standing in a way that kind of is almost surrounding the horses.
So I'll push my way in front of Felix and start shoving my way through the crowd, full Amos style.
Yeah.
Just carving a path through the crowd.
I'll just do like the tuck in behind.
Yeah.
Grab his back of his shirt. Start like pushing your way through, and a couple of people you like kind of shove pretty hard, and they go, "Oh, what?" And you push past. Eventually, it starts causing a bit of a commotion, and you see Hans look over at you, and as you kind of get closer, you make your way through the crowd, stand there looking up. Can I help you?
Good morning. We met last night.
Oh yes,
Felix.
Felix.
Yes. May I ask what is happening? Is today the day that you attempt your support rally, takeover? I'm not really sure of what it is called.
No, if you could keep that to yourself, that would be appreciated. Haven't mentioned it to anyone, and he kind of looks like we haven't mentioned it outside of our party, but today we ride. Apparently we're taking the prisoners to the Rotting Hold.
Okay, so remember last night
Yeah?
when I said that I had some acquaintances that were potentially innocent and being held? Do you know where they are? Because there's a very good chance that this could be my friends.
Or 2 humans and a dwarf? Gnome?
Yeah, that'd be them. How many people are going with you?
And he kind of looks around. Well, all the lords ride at once. Aemir is coming with us as well. It's not usual for him to come, but apparently we were all meant to ride together, and then half of us will break off once we pass the grasslands.
Hey, I assume Val hears all this as well.
Mhm.
Val, as a second party. Oh, Hans, this is my friend Val. Val, this is Hans.
The drunkard from last night. Nice to see you sober.
Yes, that was me. Hello.
Did you get your fill of... And he like looks at the meat.
Albert.
Albert. Albert. Fair enough.
You want to try some, Hans?
I just ate, but thank you.
Oh, your loss.
I'm glad it is.
So, Val, what do you make of this?
I say we borrow some horses and see where it ends up. Where they go.
Hans looks down at you and hops off his horse and gets down and goes, kind of brings in close. Do you think that they're innocent?
Yes, I do.
Believe so.
This might be good for us. If we take them to the rotting hold and they're innocent, Aomir will be finished. There's like this small smile creeping across his face. Listen,
And for this, I trust that you will let us. You will gift us horses for our party.
of course. And he kind of whistles through the crowd, and you see this big kind of burly man with a strapping beard and kind of stoic face, like small eyes, runs off into the distance and brings two horses through the crowd. As the horses approach, the crowd splits. Like, it's not even like a he doesn't even have to say give way or anything. It's like there's this force field around the horses that the crowd give like kind of respect to them. These are large horses too. There's like your general steeds that you'll see, but these ones are big, like, war horses.
Well,
I'm gonna name you Humphrey.
I believe it has a name, but you can name it Humphrey if you like for now.
Humphrey.
I'll just chuckle.
And I'll pat his coat.
Well, if you let us accompany you, I think we can be of assistance if anything goes awry on the ride, but I would very much not like my acquaintances thrown into jail. I have a personal I need to ask them more questions. I need to hang around with them for longer.
Fair enough. Well, they will be out shortly. Aomir's just getting them ready. And with that, will cut to Aiden, Biddy, and Shade. Aomir unlocks the cell. Come with me. And walks up the stairs, like not even stopping to see if you follow.
And where are we going exactly?
The guards who are in the thing just say, you better just follow him.
Yeah, I'll follow.
Yeah, I'll go with.
I'm following, but he's probably walking way too fast for me.
He heads up and up into the main chamber where you first met, and when Aiden, you get there first, followed closely by Shade. Biddy's still kind of walking up the stairs. She's on like the 4th of 15 steps, and he looks over your shoulder and sees that Biddy's coming, and says, "We're going to find answers together, but you need to trust me."
And we have our things back now?
You will. Outside, you have horses with all of your things in saddlebags. And he turns to Aiden. Your sword you might need to collect from your friends, but I get the feeling that they won't be too far.
Fair enough.
Now, no matter what you hear, just play along and we'll be fine.
Alright.
Can I give him the old insight check?
Yeah, sure.
It's only a 10.
Only 10. He's a little bit hard to read this morning. He seems genuine, but there's something like he just seems a little bit like it's odd. He's a bit weird at the moment.
Yeah, I get the feeling he's just very like set to purpose, just very focused on something, and
Yeah.
can only assume that what he's saying is what he's focused on.
Yeah, exactly. He kind of turns around. Are you going to be okay, old one?
Me?
Right.
I'm having the time of my life. As long as you can trust me not to eat your horse.
Like I said, I don't trust you, but I trust that I can kill you.
Okay. Sure. You didn't trust that of me not that long ago, but sure.
Okay. I need to I need to reiterate to all of you that we can kill you. You'll be surrounded by 20 of the finest fighters I know.
I mean, if all these rumors are true, these finest fighters haven't been able to catch us yet. But, as I said, that wasn't me.
Well, we haven't been looking for you. Lo and behold,
Okay.
if the Quindolin attacked Hillsguard, there'd be a different story.
Alright.
Okay.
Which horse is mine?
And he walks to the big double doors and pushes them open, and the crowd all like turn and face him, and then from what was like a bustling crowd just suddenly dies down. There's no sound. He takes a moment, takes a few steps down the stairs. Everyone kind of like watches you as you approach. He like points to a couple of horses that are yours, and then to the crowd kind of yells out, "Today we take the criminals known as the Quindolin to the rotting hold. 20 of the lords will take to their steeds and ride. It'll be a quick, hard ride. But we will return within 3 days. Until then, be well." And he like gets up, and the crowd all kind of clap, and there's a little, a little bit of cheering, but not too much. They watch you all approach, and you, Aiden, Biddy, and Shade, also you kind of see each other as you approach the horses.
I'm just gonna turn to them and say, "Did he just say the rotting hold?" We look very nervous and stressed. Sorry.
I'll just whisper over to Shade though. But if he was really trying to sell this, maybe he should have put us in manacles.
I don't know about you, but I'm not exactly too keen on going back there.
Going back there. Well, I've never been.
It's not nice. Let's just say that.
Aemir kind of mounts his horse. For the rest of you, everyone starts, like, you watch as all of these lords dressed heavily armored, big, so, you know, a couple of them have lances, a couple of them have like really big swords. Like one of them has like a Kaopath, like the Dothraki sword. It's like they're getting ready to ride, so it's kind of, you get the feeling that it's mount up time.
I look up at this horse towering over me
It's a
and
massive
sort of
horse.
whisper to it, "Do you mind bending down a little? There's no way."
You hear, and it gets down on like on its knees, and the saddle that has been designed for you is still too big. But you're able to kind of clamber up on the side of it, and it pulls itself up. Aeomer stands at moves his horse to the front, and some of the cavalry lords kind of move themselves around you in a semi formation, and you just hear a drum at the back just starting to dum, 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 and then the beat like starts to get faster and faster and faster, and then you hear Aomer just yeah and take off running, and you head out towards the gates that you at great speed. Your horses don't even kind of listen to your commands, they just run with the pack, with the herd. After as you kind of charge off, there's a bunch of cheering. This seems to be kind of like an event for the general populace, and before even a second passes, you're already out of the gates of Hillsguard and charging off into a grassy plainland.
We see the rest of the party.
Nope. That's the wrong one. Yes, yeah. So you're all kind of in formation together. There's like all five of you are kind of in the center of it all.
As we're riding, I'll just hand my my skewer over to Shade. Here, you must be hungry. Try this Albert steak.
Gonna look at it. Go. This is horse meat.
Who? What? Guys!
And I'm gonna
we have to
hand
stop
it to,
eating
and I'm
horses.
gonna hand it to people.
You take that back.
Yeah.
Goddamn Albert.
We have to stop eating horses. We're just living up to what they say we are.
It's
Pat the horse I'm riding and go, "It's okay, don't worry, don't worry."
Nothing
Have
to
they-
worry
What they
about.
say
It's
isn't
alright,
true.
Albert.
Like all their equipment and armor and stuff, or
what's that? Sorry.
have they got all their equipment and armor?
Yeah. So in the saddlebags that are on the side of the horses you're riding is your equipment and things. You haven't had really a chance to put it on or anything, but you're all heading pretty like riding pretty hard at the moment. There's like, as you look back, there's this big plume of just dust and dirt just being thrown into the air as these massive war horses just charge through the lands.
If I can, I'll try and give Aiden back his sword.
Yeah, it's a little, to be honest, a little difficult, like, because you can make small adjustments to these horses, but they don't really respond to your commands. You're able to reach across. Just make a dexterity check for me.
So if there's any chance that I have to throw it or let it go or even like slide out to the tip,
Yep.
like I'm literally not going beyond anywhere that will not like let it drop.
Cool.
If there's any chance, I'm just
Yep.
gonna pull it back.
Just make a dexterity check for me.
14.
Cool.
Oh, hang on, that's a save. Oh, it's the same thing. Don't worry.
All right, cool. You like get close, and Aiden has to kind of lean over, and there's a second there where you just like your heart drops as it slips from your hand, but Aiden's able to quickly grab it from the from under, like as it falls. He may have grabbed a bit of the blade, but it's sheathed mostly, so it's fine. The sheath kind of like falls off a little bit, and Aiden like grabs it as well.
Oh, close one there. Thank you for that, Felix.
And then I'll, depending on how I imagine it's pretty loud with all the like the hooves and
Yeah.
stuff going on. I'll just yell, "You're going to the rotting hold. I don't think that's where you belong. This isn't right."
I have heard, and I don't think we belong there either, but play along for the moment. See how this pans out.
Okay. Okay.
Cool. So as you're all charging along, you probably, these horses are working super hard, and they go for most of the morning. It takes till about like 3 hours worth of riding before the lead starts to drop back a little bit, and the horses start to slow, and it's probably another hour before there's a stop and a break, as you kind of all pull up beside a small river, and the horses just panting, and everything just kind of wander over to the river and start. They like go down to one knee at the front, so as to drink, and you watch as they do, all of the other cavalry lords kind of dismount and get down and take a break.
I will use this time to get my equipment sorted.
Cool. You reorganize and
I'm checking they haven't touched any of my plants.
roll an investigation check.
Yeah, I'll do the same. Except not plants. Just check if anything's missing.
18.
18. Plants are definitely not looking like they weren't handled with care.
You're right.
Biddy's gonna kill them all.
Is anything missing, by the way?
What'd you roll?
15.
15? No. No, not... You check most of your stuff and it seems to be all there. As you're all kind of getting your stuff together, Hans comes over to Felix. So you really think that they're innocent?
I do. I believe it. They weren't even present on this plane of existence when it happened. So there's multiple planes.
Yeah.
Ours isn't the only one in the world.
I went to school, yes.
Okay,
I have
good.
I've heard.
Just checking. Some people don't believe, but anyway. So basically, I was tracking down the big one in the armor there because we're from the same place in Gistrondra, and I was tasked to find him. He went missing for 6 months, and then randomly appeared 4 or 5 days ago, and so it couldn't have been them.
How
Well,
do
couldn't have been Aiden anyway.
how do you know he disappeared?
I have a compass that allows me to track an item. Yeah. And I was
Can I-
tracking his sword.
Okay, can you show me how it works?
No. I can, but I don't want to.
Why
Wow.
not? Because honestly, we need hard evidence that they're innocent. Because if we get to the rotting hold and it turns out it's not a strong case, I'm afraid I won't be able to back you up.
I've already shown Aemir this. You know how no one really likes magic? It's not magic, but it's magic. It acts magic in a magical way, but it's not magic. It's just a device. But people who are not educated like yourself will see it as magic. And then that would put me in a really bad stead, because they would be like, oh no, Felix is also with them and he uses magic and he's going in the rotting hold, and I don't really want to go in the rotting hold.
Yes, I definitely wouldn't bring it out unless you can prove that your companions aren't who we all think they are. Well, listen.
Okay.
If
I
you,
will-
sorry, you go.
I can show you, but I can only do it once per. It takes a while for the mechanism to recharge, so I can only really do it once a day or so.
Well, best save it for the rotting hold. We'll be there we'll be there by the evening. Oh no, I said 3 days. No. Lo and behold, you could probably show me today, and then if it recharges.
Very well. Let me think of something to. Maybe these plans won't work because there's too much.
Do
I'll just think on it.
Do you think? What do you need to? Can you? Do I just describe something to you?
If you give me enough detail, I can possibly see. The problem is if you don't give me enough, it will find all like items. So if you said, "I want you to find this horse," it would literally just like too many horses in the one space.
I want you to find a locket. It's a specific locket that has the engraving of the 42nd year of 42nd year AA after Ascension engraved on it.
What color is it?
It's silver.
What is it made of?
Titanium.
Does it have any other markings?
It's got
How
my
big is it?
family crest on it.
What's your family crest?
This, and he kind of like shows you a banner that's kind of like hanging off of his horse.
Okay, no promises, but so I'll pull out the little compass and I'll just like imagine what he's told me and see if it responds.
It starts to spin and spin, and you've seen this before. It does like a couple of spins initially, and then all of a sudden just locks, pointing straight to one of to his horse, and he walks over, opens up his saddlebag, pulls out a locket, and starts to walk around and like move the locket around, and you watch as the needle starts to follow it. Huh. And you're saying that you weren't able to track.
No, so it would have had to have meant that the sword that I was tracking was on a different plane of existence, and Aiden is never without that sword.
We could have a case here. Well, let's make sure that we get our story straight. We've got 3 days. We'll be riding soon, so if there's anything you need to do, talk to your friends about.
So I'll go over and I'll just relay everything from last night. The whole wants to take over with Hans. Yeah, just relay everything to you all.
Cool.
Well, it certainly sounds like you've been busy.
Well, I was trying to find a way that I wouldn't have to break the law in case things went sideways and had to get you out. That was all for whatever went. I quite like him.
I mean, I'm just impressed. I have expected you to be off drinking or something.
Val drinks enough for a few people.
Ah, is that right then?
Did someone say drink?
And you think we can trust this Hans?
I don't really think we can trust anyone. That's kind of our jobs to a sense, I guess, but the law is... I just don't want to have to break the law.
No, I understand. I'm just wary you're getting too involved in the politics of Hillsgard.
I guess.
Does Amy look approachable at the moment?
At the moment he's kind of talking to someone. They're looking he's standing next to someone who has like a big map open, and they're kind of looking. It doesn't look like he's too unapproachable.
Maybe I should find out what his plans are for us, whether it truly is the rotting hold or otherwise.
I mean, and I'll like whisper in or like lean into Aiden. Would Biddy even survive in the rotting hold? She's so old.
I have survived a lot of things, I will have you know. And my hearing is just as sharp as it was 300 years ago.
I look down. Oh,
I can take anyone in
my-
that rotting hold.
my
From what I've
apology.
seen, oh, sorry, go.
I did not mean it as an insult. I was just concerned for your well-being.
I'm concerned for your well-being. You don't worry about me.
Yeah. Okay.
From what I've seen, Betty can handle herself.
My
And I'll
hip,
do, like,
though.
The
My
awkward
hip.
scolded child thing where it's like just looking at the ground.
So long as it's not a flight of stairs or something, anyway.
As long as I don't need to use my hip, I'm fine.
Shade, Betty, do you want to see if we can talk to Amy and find out what his plans are for us?
I would like a few words with him about the disrespect to my plants. They are living creatures, and they have been clearly manhandled.
Perfect. Let's go. Maybe you should open with that.
You know what? I might.
Do a bit of good cop, bad cop sort of thing.
Yeah. So as you approach, Amy kind of looks up at you and gives like a nod, and then eventually he just whispers "piss off" to the other dude, and can I help you?
Yes. I lift up one of my little vials containing some plants and say, whoever you had in charge of our stuff, have you seen the state of these? I cannot fathom the disrespect that it would take to treat a living creature how these have clearly been treated.
Make an intimidation check.
I'll just throw on there. I mean, it might well be that same captain of the guards who thought it was funny to make racist comments on piss on the prisoners.
I bet it was him. 17.
Oh. You must be talking about Searle. I'll talk to him when we return.
Yes, we didn't catch his name. He seemed occupied otherwise.
You're saying he was pissing on guards, no, on prisoners.
Most ended up pissing on himself, to be honest.
Yes, it's definitely like him. He's not our finest. Please don't judge us on the actions of him.
I just wanted to give you some valuable feedback on my experience so far. I will not be leaving a good review.
Yes.
The person's suggestion box.
Yelp. Who's
1-star review.
I'm going to be telling the Dwarf Yelp all about this.
We're about to start writing soon. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Well, I'm curious on what your plan is for us. You said when we were leaving to go along with it, but are we really bound for the Rotten Hold, or?
We're heading where we need to go, yes.
Are you able to share your intentions with us?
Not here, not now.
I'm not exactly welcome there. Are you sure that's where we need to go?
Have you been there before?
In a sense.
Can I just look around and see if there's anyone who's paying particularly close attention to us, or anyone that, you know, when I brought up the fact that, like, I was pressing for information, he sort of said, "Not here, not now." Did he glance to anyone? Did anyone kind of glance our way?
Make a perception check.
12.
12. There's a few people around, but they seem pretty busy with their, like, just prepping their horses. Some of them are taking good care of them. But yeah, there's no one like kind of like paying attention from what you can see.
I do have a question about what you were saying about your daughter.
Yes.
Since there are clearly some wild rumors circulating about us, when she disappeared, were there similar rumors of her and her traveling companions wreaking havoc or doing strange things that seem out of character?
Well, she loved her family and she loved her home, so leaving on the first hand is definitely out of character. But it was said that she was found at Stenisgrad to have stolen an artifact from one of their temples, but that doesn't sound like her. She's not a thief.
He may have already given us a name, but I don't remember what it was.
Shit.
Or did he not?
I can't remember if he did. And now I'm forgetting if I did give a name.
I have nothing written down, and I've been trying to keep notes, so I'm assuming no, unless anyone tells me otherwise.
Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I didn't have anything.
Okay, well, if I go back on the tape and look and see it, I'm going to be very, what's the word, embarrassed, but, yes, Corinne.
Well, I would put it to you that since we seem to be in a very similar situation to what Corinne was, that maybe her acting so out of character might just be a point in our favour, saying that it was not us eating horses and murdering virgins.
I believe it is. But for now we ride.
I'd just like to say it's obvious that you very much want to find out what happened to your daughter. Loss of a loved one is a pain I can relate to. And I'm sure it's occurred to you that we're your best chance in finding that out. We've taken a leap of faith here with you, so I'm hoping that you'll be doing the same. Even if you can't talk about exactly what your plan is right here and right now.
Not right here, right now. Later. And he, like,
Fair
pulls
enough.
himself up onto his horse nearby and he goes, "Get mounted. We'll be leaving in 2 minutes."
I will do so.
Cool. And again, it's not long before you're all charging through the countryside. The horses are pushing just as hard as they were this morning. They are very well trained, very like you've all been around horses in your life, but this is like next level like commitment and training of these animals. They're incredible. Before long, there's a small wall that kind of starts rising up over the horizon as you guys are charging through. There's a call. There's kind of discussion from a couple of the cavalry lords around you saying, you know, are we going to divert? Are we going to run straight through? A few yell over, oh, are we going straight through or are we riding around? Because we can just save time just blowing straight through it. And as you're like approaching this thing, that you see that it's actually kind of not a large wall, but like almost a palisade, about the same height as you do sitting atop your warhorse. And as you're getting closer, a couple of the guards or cavalry lords around you say, looks like we're going through. Everyone steel yourself, heads on a swivel. And cool.
What are we going through if no one's said exactly what it is?
One of them
Assume
turns.
we're driving.
Yeah, one of you turns, he turns to you. Oh, it's a compound. It was ransacked a few weeks ago, and it's a great place for an ambush, but it cuts a full day off of our ride. And
Okay.
yeah, so you're probably about 5 minutes away from crossing over into this compound.
Just turn and yell the same, I guess, and like instinctually sort of trigger finger on my crossbow.
Cool.
I'll get my shield ready.
Can I contact Acheron's familiar?
Yeah. What do you want to say?
I could borrow you right now if you want something to do.
Or you hear, like as you reach out to him, there's like it's like radio static for a second, and then yeah. Oh, what can I do for you?
We're approaching this compound. Do you think you could covertly scope it out and let me know what's there?
Oh. Yeah. Oh. Is that
Come, get up. It will be good for you. You need to stop moping.
okay?
Such a broken bird.
I'm just gonna roll a stealth check for him. 15. Yeah, he you hear like a small little, and you look up and you can see his like wings outstretched and he's flying over the top of you. You can make out, because you're looking for it, there's like his little stick body kind of flapping in the wind behind him, and he takes off ahead of you, going out of the range of actually no, because you can't communicate him because it's not your familiar. Yeah. Oh. I'll say yeah, you probably can, because he was passed off to you.
I mean, I do have the summon familiar thing somewhere.
Well, he kind of outdoes that range of the telepathic communication, and then comes back. It's just an empty settlement. There's nothing there.
Alright. Thank you.
Except there was claw marks on one of the walls.
Oh.
Sorry, I rolled perception for him after I said there was nothing there.
Do you know what kind of claw marks? What do they look like?
Big ones.
Big ones. Alright. I very much appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate your help, Pity. It's been a rough week for me.
It certainly has.
I'm just gonna go back, if that's cool with you.
That's fine.
You're very close to crossing the threshold of this compound.
I want to sort of lean over to someone who will listen and say, I don't have a great feeling about this. Let's call it a intuition regarding nature. I think you should be very careful.
You lean over to one of the guards who was talking about asking, what are we doing? Are we going straight through? Are we doing what? And he turns to you and kind of goes, yeah, I don't really feel that comfortable going through here. Not after we've lost contact with them months ago. But there's no real choice now. And as he says that, the kind of you rush through the gates of this walled palisade, and it's around you's kind of you were kind of expecting a settlement or a town, but there's trees all around you for a moment, and then it opens up into a courtyard. But suddenly there's a ho, and everyone just the horses just start pulling up hard, and you find
Can
yourself.
I summon my familiar?
Yeah.
Quickly?
Yes.
Yeah. Just high in the sky, no one sees
Yeah,
it.
it's soaring around. It looks so small from up here.
I got black map.
That could be because I'm an idiot and didn't put global illumination on. There we go. How's that?
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a small kind of settlement on the inside, but basically surrounded by trees. There's a windmill to the left and a small untilled or tilled farmland that hasn't been fertilized in some time or looks untended. That's what I'm looking for. And a bigger building up towards the back. Shade, do you want to roll a perception check for your owl?
Yeah, sure. Oh, he has, I keep
Keen
the
sight.
actual stat back up.
Yeah, owl has advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on hearing or sight.
Yeah, I think he has a +1 to perception.
Perception's +3.
+3. Okay. So we got an 18 then, or a 10.
Cool.
His +3.
Yeah, he flies around and Shade, just to let you know, there's a few claw marks coming from those buildings. There's lots of claw marks, actually. It's a bit scary.
Do you see any open windows?
If by open you mean broken, then there's a few. This back building back here, and he kind of like flies low over the building up towards here. And this one's windows are all busted out.
Why don't you go and have a look for me?
Okay. And he flies in. Amir kind of rides back towards you. And he turns to Hans. Return with the others. I will take the rest from here. And Hans kind of talks back. This wasn't the plan. We shouldn't even be waiting here. Amir says, I don't care. Do as you're told. Take your contingent back to Hillsguard. I don't like it being left unguarded as long as we have. Hans kind of looks to you, Felix. But
I'll just like.
Amir, this isn't the time for games. We shouldn't even be staying here. We don't know what's happened here. We could be ambushed at any moment. And a few of the other lords kind of like murmur in agreement. It seems to be like this almost divide straight down the middle. There's like a few who are loyal to Amir, a few that are kind of like Hans is back. What are we doing? Amir turns to you, all of you, and says, prove yourselves. Find what happened here. Then maybe I'll trust you. Hans kind of, I thought we were going to the Rotting Hold. Surely we'll find out that the truth of their crimes there. Seems very kind of like confused and almost disappointed that you're not continuing.
I'm gonna whisper for my horse to sort of bend down a bit so I can get off.
It like
and
gets down.
Sort of, I'm gonna sort of wave Hans off and say, he's fine and we're fine.
And Amir turns to Hans and said, if you're that worried, continue on. We'll catch up. Hans is like, looks around to the people that he... Fine. We'll meet you on the other side. And he charges off with about 15 other people. So there's about 5, including Amir.
So I'll get off my horse and bow in hand, and I'll lead Humphrey over to a tree to tie him up. Come along, Humphrey. Tie him up against a tree or a wall or something.
Cool. Make a perception check for me.
Oh god. I had to open my stupid mouth. 14.
14. As you're kind of wrapping it around around a tree, you notice off to the right there's like this big gash mark in the side of a tree, like something's ripped through it.
Given that I grew up in the woods, do I know what it would have been? Can I identify it?
Roll a nature check for me.
Nature? I'm good at nature. Maybe not too good. 13.
13. It's not like a claw. It just looks like something big and heavy's been almost like a hammer has just like hit the side of a tree and just taken a chunk out of it.
Can I start looking around and see if I can see any tracks that will give me any idea what happened here, or
Yeah.
identify sort of any like markings of creatures or anything?
Absolutely, roll a survival check.
While Biddy's doing that, I'll just go up to Andrew and say, "Alright, you're wanting to find out what happened here. What do you know thus far? Give us a starting point."
This compound was usually fed us a good supply of lumber, but about 3 months ago they went dark. No response. What's the word I'm looking for? No communication of any sort.
I got a 22.
Looking around, the ground is kind of torn up by something with massive claws. You can see parts of the ground that would indicate that bodies being dragged.
Can I see which direction?
So basically, it looks like a lot of the dragging has come from out of the buildings, like something's been dragged
Mhm.
out of the buildings and towards the windmill.
Okay. Can I work out what... Did you say I could see like footprints and
Is-
things?
Definitely padded paw print.
Can I work out what those would be from?
Because it's there's lots of animals that have kind of these big padded paws. Could be a cat of some kind, like a big cat, because the paw is quite large.
Alright. I'm gonna turn to everyone and say, "This way," and start walking over to the windmill.
Has my familiar seen anything yet?
He's just seen a lot of. He's gone into the thing.
Yeah.
He kind of calls back, Shade, it's not pretty in here. I'm pretty sure there's blood on the walls, and everything seems to be broken, and there's a few levels. I've just gone in one. Would you like me to check the others? I can go up or down.
Go up.
And there's a few seconds break, and it's just a door. I can't get past it. It seems to
Can
be
you... Seems to be locked.
locked. Oh wait, well, I'm not that good with doors.
Doesn't have opposable thumbs.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah, they do, don't they? Don't owls have...
He's got a claw, but he's not super dexterous with it.
Could you go outside and see if there's a window in there to it?
You watch him come out into a circle. It's just this one, like, it seems to be a windowless room.
Check the bottom floor. And then come back.
Please and thank yous are free. And he nosedives, goes in the lower window. It's the same here. It seems to be worse here. There's lots of things just broken, and tables and things. And there's a trap door in here. I can't. It's closed too.
Okay, come back. And Biddy, did you take that owlbear skewer for? I'm assuming you didn't, right?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna give
I
it
don't
to.
eat horse and I don't eat owlbear.
I'm gonna give it to my familiar as a thank you.
Because it swoops in
Give it a little scratch on the head.
It lands on your shoulder, and when it does, a lot of the people around you kind of look at you, and even one of them says, when did he get an owl? And it Al kind of like sits there and nom 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 nom.
So, Biddy, Shade, what are you thinking?
I'm heading towards the windmill.
I'm
If you
following
want to
Biddy.
come,
As she
there's
starts running,
probably
or as
there's-
Biddy starts hobbling. Like,
now she's sprinting.
Biddy, Aiden, get in front.
I just call back to Amy. We're gonna go check out the windmill. Maybe your guards can be useful and provide perimeter or something.
And Amy
And I will head over.
kind of turns to them and keep watch, but don't intervene. I want to see how they perform under action.
I feel like performing poorly would help our case.
as we're walking, I'm sort of pointing out the drag marks and all the other prints I can see, so that everyone's prepared for what we're walking into.
Cool. As you approach the windmill, the door itself has been ripped off. Like, it doesn't even have a door at this point. There's hinges left, and you can see just inside there's a door kind of laying on the ground in a couple of pieces. Yeah, do you want to step inside?
Sword and shield out, and I will. I'll make sure that there's nothing I'm gonna walk into like immediately. Like, probably not a trap, but the building could be in disrepair. Maybe something could fall on me, something could jump out. So I'm just being vigilant.
Roll a perception check.
As he goes in first, I'm gonna reach out and coalesce some of the shadows on my hand, and I'll give you guidance.
20 total. 20.
Okay. It's definitely damaged, the building, in terms of thing, but there's no traps or anything. As you kind of step into the room, I'll put you all. Let me quickly just place your character tokens down.
If there's time and we don't get jumped immediately, I will shield of faith myself.
Yep. Oh. That's not the right person.
I broke it.
Yeah, no, sorry, it was showing Acheron on your token. There you go. Shade and Felix. There we go.
So as I cast this, there'll be like a faint shimmering, almost like ripples on water of this kind of white energy that goes over Aiden.
Cool. As you kind of all step into the room, there's this grouping of hay that you all watch as this head kind of pulls up from in between the hay, it kind of like trickling off of it, and it's just horns on either side and it's black eyes of a goat, just looking directly at you. It like.
Do I recognize what it is?
It looks like a goat, but you suddenly realize this isn't a goat as a lion's head rears up next to it, followed closely by a dragon, and then these two giant wings, red and leathery, just unfold, and there's this cacophonous roar between a goat, lion, and dragon all at once. And with that, we'll pick up next week.
I knew you were gonna do that. You
Yeah.
Thank you all for tuning in to Hardcore Roleplay of the episode 6. With episode 7, we'll pick back up with the fight against this creature. Find us on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, and we hope to see you next time. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.